Welcome back. Let's talk about research validity. In the previous videos, I talked about research reliability, and in most cases, students they discuss these two terms together: research validity and research reliability. And in some cases, they actually use them interchangeably. But you need to take note that these two variables are different. So in the previous video, I talked about research reliability, what it is, and the types of reliability measures. And I also talked about the Kronberg alpha. So if you have not listened to this video, I recommend that you go and listen to it. Then research validity, from a finding point of view, we are saying, or it refers to how well the results or the findings of a group or for a participant represent the findings among similar individuals outside the study. And here we are referring to the target population, the people that are not part of the group. And we are mainly concerned about this type of validity is in the event that we want to generalize our findings. Then also from instrument measurement, we are saying how well does our instrument, our questionnaire or our interview questions or our metric tests or our standardized tests, how well are they measuring what we want those instrument to measure. And we have got four types of validity. The first one, we have got content, and the content validity measures how well an instrument, like a test, psychometric test, for example, covers all relevant part of the construct it aims to measure. An example is the a learner's license, that test that you write. If you see, they try by all means to make sure that it covers everything that you are expected to have learned. Then we have got two types of content. We have got the internal, and the internal is that it relates to how the test has been administered, how it has been performed. And then the external content validity, it's actually contained, or it examines how well the findings may apply also in other settings. Then we have got the second one, the criterion related validity. And the criterion related validity here, it's more of prediction. A test is said to be criterion related validity when it has demonstrated it's effective in predicting a construct. It can be or a behavior, or a criteria or indicator. A good example is the IQ test, which can be used to predict the future educational achievement for someone. So that's a good example. The IQ test is a very good example of a criterion valid test. Then we also have got two types of criterion related validity: the concurrent validity. And here we are, good example is when we are testing for, let's say, for depression, and we indicate the ability of test scores to estimate that individual's the current state. Like that depression, you actually test the level at that current moment. What is the level of depression at that current moment? Or what is the level of BP, for example, or your level of sugar, for example, at that particular moment. These are actually good examples of a concurrent validity. Then we've got predictive validity criteria. Actually, this one also, we are also talking about predicting behavior. And good examples of those testing that predict is that the purchase intention and the purchase behavior is one example. We can also talk of emotional intelligence scores that are also examples of those testing of predictive validity. Then we have got the construct of validity. Construct validity looks at whether the test covers the full range of behavior. whether we have covered everything in what we want to cover. A good example, I already talked about the driver's learners license, that test that you go and write. We can also talk of GRE tests that you write if you want to go and study abroad, or the SAT tests that if you want AS as well that you write. These are also good examples uh, of of such a test. Then we have got also other companies. They make sure that when they're hiring, they also give people some tests, different tests to check whether they have got all the skills that we need or that is needed for that particular position that would have opened in their organization. Then we have got the face validity. Face validity is just judging at face value. So it's a researcher are simply taking the validity of a test at face value by looking at whether it appears to measure the target variable. So yes, so it's just you just measured. Is it valid? Is it measuring what I want it to measure? That you do it at face value. All right. So yes, for those who wants to do, who are doing statistical thesis or thesis that are backed with the methodology in statistics, it's actually very important for you to take note of the test that you need to use when you are testing for validity. And when you're testing for validity, you need to think of validity before you go and collect data. So you can also test for validity at a pilot level, pilot study level. You can also test for validity after collecting the data before you proceed with the analysis. And this validity becomes the preliminary test or that you perform, or assumption test that you can also perform before you actually answer your questions. And for validity, you can use the Pearson correlation coefficient, and it's very important for you to take note of that. And most of the studies that you see on statistics, they run a correlation coefficient, and they don't tell us why they do that. They are doing that. And I think you know that of studies that you have opened and you have read, and you see the coefficient, and or you had your lecturer or your supervisor telling you that please run coefficient in the initial. The main reason why they're doing that, they are just it is also a validity test, although you can actually check for correlations association using correlation. You can also answer questions for association when you are using a correlation, but you can also run it for validity. And it's actually very important to know this type of question, especially for those who are doing mixed method, because if you are doing mixed method, you need to show to your examiner that you know the statistical package and why you are bringing a statistical package. If you bring a statistical package like this, when you are checking and you tell your examiner that you are checking for validity, definitely it's you get a credit for that. So then we have got also factor analysis. We have got two types of analysis or factor analysis here. We have got the exploratory analysis and the confirmatory analysis. And the exploratory factor analysis, we normally do this at the parent level when we are still designing our questionnaire. We are going out there to test and all other stuff. And the confirmatory part, we normally do that when we are now after collecting the data and we just want to confirm the validity of our test. So it's very important for you to know how and when to use these tests. And for Pearson correlation, this is an easy one to do. maybe when it comes to the factor analysis, that's when you might need to learn one or two skills for you to be able to do it. But yes, that's it. In validity. So validity versus reliability, I told you that most students, they use these two interchangeably, but it is very important for you to know that these two are separate variables, and you need to know in your study when you are addressing validity and when you are addressing reliability. Although we normally write it as a research, as a heading, research validity and research liability, then we just talk and it actually has become a norm to accept it like that. But you also need to, if you are doing PhD, it's good for you to separate, and just so that you know what these two terms are really mean. So validity examine how well a measure, a test measures what we want it to measure, and the reliability refers to how consistent the results are. How consistent are we getting the results from that instrument? So thank you for listening to this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to share with the friends and your students if you're a lecturer, and also to refer students to our channel. Thank you. Enjoy your day.